Well, good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and here I am for some fantasy hockey league, believe it or not. And speak of, I actually got to gear up for this because all I'm wearing is some Forza Horizon shirt. I got to see if I can find my Seattle Thunderbirds shirt. Nah, it's too small. I can't even fit in that anymore. But here we are, believe it or not. Epic C and I, or his name is actually, what is the name of your team?
Well, for hockey, my name is actually Epic IC.
Epic IC? Are you serious?
Yes.
Epic IC. Isn't that great? Your name is Epic IC. Would you like to explain what that's all about?
Well, because I usually have Epic C in my name, I wanted to do something more hockey themed. So I thought ice would be a good addition to the name. So now it's Epic IC.
Here's my reaction. Okay, here it is. Let's give you a round of applause, shall we? You get a nice round of a slow applause, okay? Okay, so we're here to do the fantasy draft lottery as if we already did one for basketball. And man, I do fantasy sports of everything. What do I do? Fantasy baseball, which I did win a championship, so you're going to hear that a lot. At least I'm fantasy 2024 fantasy baseball champion, so you're going to hear that all the time. I do fantasy football, fantasy WNBA, fantasy basketball, fantasy hockey. Am I missing anything else?
Hockey, football, basketball, WNBA, baseball for you. So that's 5.
That's 5. So basically every single month I'm doing some form of fantasy something, which I think is really cool. And fantasy baseball, I expanded to 12. So really it's growing. Roof's life is just a fantasy. Oh, reflect the sun. You never fail to disappoint me with those comments. I love it. So here we are, fantasy. We have these 8 contestants. And before we do, we're going to get into the power rankings of the draft. And here are the first 10 picks. And Epic C, tell me exactly which player you recognize. We got Nathan McKinnon, who's a center, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, Nikita Khrushchev, probably a Russian, David Pastrnak, I can't even say these names, Kale Makar, Mikko Rantanen, Kirill Kapsy, I'm so bad at these Russian last names, or Ukraine or whatever it is, Leon, I give up, and Roman Jossi. And Epic IC, do you know any of these hockey players?
Yes, I know Connor McDavid from last year's actually finals, because the Edmonton Twin Oilers were one of the first Canadian teams in the finals, in the Stanley Cup finals in years. And he didn't do well in the first few games, but brought it on towards the end, and their team almost won, but then lost in Game 7. But Connor McDavid was their best player.
Who won the Stanley Cup last year?
It was the Florida Panthers.
Florida Panthers, huh? And wow, Vince Dunn is one of the players for the Kraken. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I know we're going into this league with nothing, close to no knowledge. None of us know anything about hockey. Like, do you know anything about hockey other than that guy?
So with hockey, I know a few things about hockey, but very little. Like I kind of know the general gist of what it is, you know?
So basically, it's safe to say we're going into this with a Russian roulette mindset, where it's basically luck of the draw. And there is, to be fair, there's like maybe a few players that actually know, and we'll go over the contestants and see who actually knows hockey. But you guys know the rules that we do. It's going to be 8 players. We're going to have an 8-team league, and I'll do updates on those. I'll try at least, because do I really want to? Oh yeah, here's an update video on my fantasy hockey league. But yeah, I still got to do it because of content building. And you know the rules. We've got the nice drum and Epic C. I'm going to leave it up to you. Do you want me to draw it every single time? or do you want me to like just or do the picking thing? Well, the picking thing makes it fast. Or which one do you like me to do? Which one
Roll
looks
it
better?
or spin it every time.
You want me to spin it every single time, huh?
Yes. It's only 8 of them.
Okay, if it's anything more than 8, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we're going to do that, and then Epic C Films is only here so he can basically audit me and hold me accountable in case of any kind of cheating scandal goes on. And Epic C Films, are we ready to reveal our contestants for the Fantasy Hockey League?
Yes.
So here is what we've got. First, we got Nelson. I'm sorry. We got Mark. His team name is Mark's Magnificent Team. So obviously, he did not change his team name. Here is Mike. He is known as the Macaroni and Cheese, which, by the way, is kicking my butt in fantasy football really, really badly. Then we got Jay Trident Podcast. His team name, though, is Joe's Scary Team. Should probably change that name. Then we got Ian. His name is Sticks Up. And we got myself. My team name is the 1980 US Hockey Team. And we got Greg. He is arguably the only one in this entire league that actually knows about NHL hockey like religiously. And his team name is Greg's Great Team. And I think he should change that name. Then we got Epic C, aka Epic IC. Now, last but not least, we got Nelson, and his team name is the Seattle Triple Cheeseburgers. So, out of all those, which one do you think has the best name? And you have to go objectively. I mean, the best one I'm going to say is either the Seattle Cheeseburgers or the Epic IC. But I think Epic IC is probably up there.
I think my name is very clever. I think I did a really good job because, compared to some of the other names, like your name is very bland.
It's the US 80s hockey team that has legacy.
But I don't know much about it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, then what is yours? Which one did you like other than yours?
Well, let me see these. Joe's Scary Team.
Joe's Scary Team. I know, right?
Yeah, Sticks Up. That I get that one and stuff like that. A Seattle Triple Cheeseburger. I'm like, Seattle in the name, so that's kind of cool and stuff like that. But some of the other ones, Mark's Magnificent Team is kind of like it's just his name is in it.
It's just there. It was just automated.
Yeah, those two are not great.
Reflect the Sun's giving you a hard time. They beat the vaunted Russian hockey team, the Soviet Union, as the big underdogs, huh? So that's how much that almost none of us know hockey. Like the only thing, there's only a few things I know about hockey. Sidney Crosby, the Olympic hockey team of 1980. The Soviet Union was really good back then. Seattle Thunderbirds and Everett Silvertips. That's all I know about hockey. I am dead freaking serious.
The most successful hockey movie series of all time is The Mighty Ducks.
There is The Mighty Ducks. Maybe we should watch some Mighty Ducks. But you know what? I think we're doing a lot of talking, so
let's get to
we are going to get the show on the road. And you really want me to spin it every time, don't you?
Yes. We had some complaints last time, so we have to spin it every time.
First, we got Nelson. Epic C, and you know the drill. Each time the name is revealed, you have got to type the name.
Yeah, starting from what, 8 going up
8.
To 1.
Ian, Straight Trident Podcast, Mark, Mike, and myself. All right, here we go. And then you tell me when to stop every single time as we're going to conduct the drawing.
Okay. And stop.
And of course, am I allowed to look at the cards?
Not yet.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I can't. I'm hope none of them fell. Okay, I have to redraw. This is not going good already. I'm already going to be accused of cheating the draft. All right, we got to do this again because I cannot draw.
Yeah. Spin, 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 spin. Stop.
All right, here we go. You ready for it?
Yes.
The 8th overall pick in this year's draft will be made by Mike. Well, in terms of Mike's history in fantasy hockey, he is known to be a WNBA fantasy basketball champion. And the question is, how will he do in the fantasy hockey? And tell me when you're ready for me to close it and spin it.
Okay. We're good. Okay.
Right.
So 8th pick, Mike.
All right. Tell me when to
now
spin.
Start spinning. Okay, stop.
Obviously, I can't look because if I look, that's cheating. The 7th pick in this year's draft will be made by Greg. Greg, aka the McLovin, is known to be one of the biggest underdog in the history of fantasy basketball. He finished 3rd place in fantasy baseball, but he is expected to be the favorite in fantasy hockey because of his huge, extensive knowledge in the NHL. So he is, as of now, the team to beat. And I also heard that Ian is also the other team to beat. Tell me when to spin.
Okay, start spinning. Stop.
The 6th pick in this year's draft will be made by Mark. Mark, it's very unclear if he knows anything about fantasy hockey. He's really here just to be a filler, honestly. He's known to be more of a baseball guy, as I did defeat him in the fantasy baseball championship. No hard feelings, Mark.
Start spinning. Stop.
The 5th pick in this year's draft will be made by myself, Joe. That hurts a lot. Well, you know that I am known to be the commissioner. I run how many different leagues? I've been doing it for 12 years, and I'm a champion in fantasy basketball, which was honestly a fluke. No one remembers that. Fantasy baseball and fantasy football. I've won a championship.
No WNBA yet.
11 freaking points.
Stop.
And the 4th overall pick, as soon as I shuffle this out. The 4th pick in this year's draft will be made by Jay Trident. Jay Trident Podcast is known to be my partner in crime in the YouTube world. And he just joined my fantasy baseball league, and he just joined my fantasy hockey league at the 11th hour under the advice of Greg. And how will he do in hockey? And he says he knows just a little bit of hockey. He was once a Arizona Coyotes fan, but unfortunately they had to suffer the relocation
to Utah. Spinning, and stop.
And we're now down to picks 1, 2, and 3. And the ones that are remains are Nelson, Ian, and Epic IC. And the 3rd pick in this year's draft will be made by Epic C. The Epic IC, with a very clever name. He's been known to be a champion in fantasy women's basketball. And now we are down to 2 picks left. And it's a matter of question. Will it be Nelson or will it be Ian?
Stop.
I say left or right.
Right.
And the second pick in this year's draft will be made by Ian. Ian, who I think he does play fantasy hockey on a regular basis, so he could also be the dangerous favorite other than Greg, which that means ultimately the number one pick in this year's draft will be made by Nelson. Nelson's known to be a last place of everything of the leagues. He does play in every single league that I play, but will fantasy hockey be to his liking? We don't know. We can only find out. So that's it. So pick number 8 was Mike. Greg is 7. Mark is 6. 5 is myself. 4 is Jay Trident Podcast. 3 is Epic C. 2 is Ian. And 1 is Nelson. So, Epic C, how did you feel about your third overall pick?
I feel really, really good about it because to me, it's such a mystery. We don't know how to pick. So, like, we don't even know if the first place person knows much about hockey. So they might not even pick the best player. We don't know. So it could be. It's gonna be interesting to see how this mix of people fare out. We don't know if a more experienced person like Greg or someone like that's going to do really well, or a mystery person who knows nothing about hockey, like a Joe, is going to win this league. We do not know.
It's the beauty of this league is that it's basically Russian roulette. Almost none of us know except Ian and Greg. So I guess by default, Ian and Greg are expected to be the favorites of this league, but we can only find out throughout the season. And we'll be conducting the draft tomorrow, but probably won't. I don't know if I'm going to do a live show on it. I'm really thinking about it, but not sure quite yet. But I guess we'll see and find out.
And what's our next league coming after this? Is it soccer?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think I'm starting to think hockey is like completely overkill at this point, that we're doing fantasy hockey. But we're honestly, I think, like, what was your reaction when we were like, I'm doing fantasy hockey? Were you like, oh, okay. Did we talk about it on Tuesday after you made that big blockbuster trade?
Yes. It was fun. Hey, like a lot of fantasy doesn't take much work, if you think about it at the end of the day, because if you auto set most of your lineups, you don't have to do much work.
Would you have done baseball?
Baseball it has the most work. It seems like I don't know much about baseball, but it seems like there's a lot of work in baseball. It's hard.
I guess so. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that's all the picks that are needed to be done. And again, the top 10 players, I couldn't even name them. So I'll just say top 5. Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, Nikita, and David Past. I can't even say it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder where Sidney Crosby is. Sidney Crosby's actually rated 29th in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how these players work. Is it like there's center, there's L, there's defense? I got a lot of researching to do. So this is going to be a lot of work. So, and how the league is going to work is obviously regular season, of course, and the top 4 teams are the ones that would be top 4 goes to the playoffs for semifinals, and then the finals. They're going to be 1 week each. So it remains to be seen how this league will go. Like, I think it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, it's just going to be who sets their lineups the most, really.
Well, at the end of the day, it seems like it's pretty straightforward. It's all positions but goalie as a separate position. That's it. So all the positions don't do the same stats. So really, the only thing you have to think out differently is a goalie.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So
it shouldn't be that hard.
I guess not. But I'm going to say that shall do it for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to those who were there watching my show. Thank you very much. And if you guys want to get like exclusive access to fantasy sports content, join my membership for $5 a month, because I'm still trying to get this guy to join my membership for $5 a month to get so you can see any of my fantasy meltdowns, like football. I am getting killed in fantasy football. Like, let's take a look at the score. I think weren't you actually doing pretty well this week?
Yeah, my team, Jamar Chase is starting to play good.
Yeah, let's see how that
I might
happens.
pull it out. They say I'm going to lose by 5 points, but I don't know yet.
Who are you playing? Are you playing auto draft?
Yeah, and I might beat them.
I'm losing 134.3 to 84.7. So it's safe to say I'm going to lose that one. And
you didn't do a good job drafting this year.
Because I was full of food coma. That's from that buffet.
I didn't draft good this year either, but my team's still better than yours.
My team has, well, you know what? Here's my response to that. You want to hear my response to that?
Well, at least I'm 2022 fantasy football champion.
Joe.
You really, that joke gets old, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I could have told you not to draft Goff. I could have told you.
Thanks. But auto draft, you're actually winning, but he still has a chance to still beat you. So we'll see about that.
Yeah.
And Nelson is going to lose this week for anyone that cares. And the other best team, what's his name? Oh yeah, macaroni and cheese. I'm getting obliterated by him. So that will do. And
no, you would beat one team this week. You know what team you would beat this week?
GG.
No,
I think
Seattle Water Bottles.
No, I lost to that team.
But you would beat them this week.
No, I didn't beat him this week.
No,
someone else did.
No, but Seattle Water Bottles, if you were playing them this week, you would have had double the score of them. So you're second worst score right now, and you would beat them. So you put them the wrong week.
You know what? I'm putting an end to this show.
Okay.
Everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to watch my fantasy hockey show.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to say, actually, and to close this, I got to show a very inspiring video. And this is the only thing I know about hockey. It's a clip. Have you seen the movie Miracle?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to everyone. Mm-hmm. It's one of my most favorite scenes in hockey. All right, here it is. This is like going to be the inspiring video.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. I'll show it. And I should be... Hold on. Here it is.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. You played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game. Not tonight. Tonight, we skate with them. Tonight, we stay with them. And we shut them down because we can. Tonight, we are the greatest hockey team in the world. You were born to be hockey players. Every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team the Soviets have. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
That was a real beautiful scene. That was like very inspiring. But yeah, one of these days, when I come over to your place, we're gonna watch that movie. So yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I know that Epic C is very quiet because he's gotta get ready for our fantasy, or not a fantasy, Seahawks post game show, because that's gonna be very painful to do. But I gotta do it because of content reasons. So we're gonna end it right there. Everyone else, thank you for watching. And Epic Icy, good luck for the season. And
good luck to you.
Here's
drink.
And here's my closing message. Actually, you know what? What's your closing message?
Don't drink.
Don't drink. All right, everyone, good night.